are 3 words in the English language that are almost invisible, but they are everywhere. A, an, and the. We use them constantly in almost every sentence, but do we really know the rules? Why do we say, I saw a movie, but then I liked the movie? Why do we say the sun, but we don't say the happiness? These tiny, invisible words are the secret code to sounding natural in English. Using them correctly is one of the biggest differences between a beginner and a fluent speaker. And today, we are going to crack that code. Welcome back to our series, English Grammar Unlocked. I'm your host, Scarlett. Today, we are going on a shopping trip to finally solve the mystery of English articles. In this episode, we will turn this confusing grammar rule into a simple and fun story. First, we will follow a character named Maya on her shopping trip to learn the difference between an and the. Second, we will discover the special situations where we must use the and when we use no article at all. And finally, for our language focus, we will master 10 essential vocabulary words for shopping and grammar and understand the core principles of using articles with confidence. Part 1. The shopping trip begins. Indefinite articles, a, jetter, an. Our story today is about a young woman named Maya. It's her best friend's birthday next week, and she needs to find a perfect gift. She decides to go to a big shopping mall downtown. Let's pause right here. Notice that I said she went to a big shopping mall. Why did I say a mall and not the mall? Because this is the first time I am telling you about this mall. You, the listener, don't know which specific mall I am talking about. It could be any mall in the city. This is the first and most important rule of articles. We use a or an when we introduce a singular, countable noun for the first time. We use them when we are talking about something in a general, non-specific way. Now, when do we use a and when do we use an? The rule is simple. We use an before a word that begins with a vowel sound. The key word here is sound, not just the letter. The vowel sounds are a, e, I, o, u. For example, an apple, an elephant, an interesting idea, an orange, an umbrella. We also use an for words that start with a silent h because the first sound is a vowel. For example, an hour. We use a before a word that begins with a consonant sound. For example, a book, a cat, a dog, a friendly person. Be careful with the letter U. Sometimes it makes a vowel sound, like an umbrella, so we say an umbrella. But sometimes it makes a consonant sound, like I, as in the word university. So we say a university, not an university. Okay, let's get back to Maya's story. She walks into the shopping mall and looks around. She sees a large department store on her left. She decides to go inside. In the store, she sees a beautiful dress in the window, an expensive-looking watch on a display, and a friendly salesperson smiling at her. Right now, all of these things are general. They are just one of many things in the store. Part 2. Finding the perfect gift. The definite article, the. Maya is still looking for a gift. She decides to look more closely at the dress she saw. Now, listen carefully to how the story changes. She walks towards the dress. The dress is a beautiful shade of red and has small white flowers on it. She thinks the dress would be perfect for her friend. She calls the salesperson who she saw earlier. She asks the salesperson, "Excuse me, can you tell me the price of the dress in the window?" Let's pause again. Did you notice the change? The first time we talked about the dress, we said a beautiful dress. But now, every time we talk about it, we say the dress. Why? Because now we are talking about a specific dress. It is not just any dress in the store anymore. It is the red dress with white flowers that Maya is looking at. You, the listener, and I, the speaker, both know exactly which dress we are talking about. This is the second and most common rule of articles. We use the when we are talking about a specific noun that has already been introduced, or that both the speaker and the listener know about. The is called the definite article because it points to a definite, specific thing. Let's review the change. First mention, she saw a beautiful dress, an expensive-looking watch, and a friendly salesperson. General. Second mention, she walks towards the dress. She looks at the watch. She talks to the salesperson. Specific. This simple change from "and" to "the" is the secret code that makes English conversations clear. Part 3. Special cases. For the. Now that we know the main rule for the, let's look at some other special situations where we must use it. Maya is standing in the store, thinking about the dress. She looks out the big window. She sees that the sun is shining brightly and the sky is a perfect blue. She thinks to herself, "It's the most beautiful day of the week. This is our third rule. We use the for things that are unique, meaning there is only one of them in a particular context. There is only one sun in our sky. There is only one moon. There is only one sky above us. There is only one world. So we always say the sun, the moon, the sky, the world. We also use the with superlatives, words like best, worst, most beautiful, tallest, because there can only be one best or one tallest. Maya said it was the most beautiful day. This rule also applies to specific known things in our society, like the internet, the government, or the police. It also applies to some proper nouns, like the names of oceans, rivers, deserts, and mountain ranges, e.g. the Pacific Ocean, the Amazon River, the Sahara Desert, the Himalayas. We also use it for countries whose names are plural or include a word like kingdom or republic, e.g. the United States, the United Kingdom, the Philippines. Part 4. When not to use an article, the zero article. This is the final and trickiest part of our mystery. When do we use no article at all? This is called the zero article. Maya decides to buy the dress. While the cashier is preparing her purchase, Maya thinks about her life and her friend. She thinks that friendship is very important. She believes that love and happiness are the best gifts in life. She is happy with her decision. Maya is a student. She is studying biology at a university in New York. Let's analyze these thoughts. Friendship, love, happiness, and life. These are all abstract ideas. They are concepts, not physical objects. This is our fourth rule. We often use no article when we are talking about general concepts or abstract ideas. We also use no article when we are talking about plural nouns in a general way. For example, if Maya loves animals, she would say, I love dogs. She is talking about all dogs, dogs in general. But if she is talking about specific dogs, she would say, I love the dogs that live in my apartment building. Finally, we usually use no article for the names of most people, Maya, cities, New York, and single-name countries, Vietnam, Brazil, Japan. We also don't use articles for most subjects in school, biology, history, mathematics. So, the mystery is solved. We use an for general singular things mentioned for the first time. We use the for specific things we both know about, or for unique things. And we use no article for general concepts and plural nouns. Part 5. Language focus now. Let's move to our language focus for today. First, our 10 essential vocabulary words. Our first word is article. An article, in grammar, is a word like a, an, or the that is used before a noun. For example, today's lesson is all about how to use English articles correctly. Another example is, she forgot to use an article in her sentence. Our second word is specific. Specific means clearly defined or identified. For example, we use the article the to talk about a specific object. Another example is, can you please give me a specific example? Our third word is general. General means not detailed or specific, affecting all or most things. For example, we use the article a to talk about something in a general way. Another example is, this is just a general idea, not a final plan. Next, we have to introduce. In this context, to introduce means to mention something for the first time. For example, you should use a or an when you introduce a new noun in a story. Another example is, let me introduce a new topic for our discussion. Our fifth word is to refer. To refer to something means to talk about or mention it. For example, after you introduce something with a, you refer to it later using the. Another example is, she often refers to a book she read. The sixth word is unique. Unique means being the only one of its kind. For example, we use the for unique things like the sun and the moon. Another example is, that is a very unique piece of art. Our seventh phrase is shopping mall. A shopping mall is a large, often enclosed area with many different stores. For example, Maya went to a shopping mall to find a gift. Another example is, the new shopping mall has over 200 shops. Next, we have department store. A department store is a very large store that is divided into different sections, or departments, each selling a different type of product. For example, you can buy clothes and electronics in the same department store. Another example is, she works in the women's clothing department. Our ninth word is cashier. A cashier is a person whose job is to receive and pay out money in a store or bank. For example, Maya paid the cashier for the dress. Another example is, there was a long line at the cashier. And our final word is purchase. A purchase can be a noun or a verb. As a noun, it is something that you have bought. For example, she was very happy with her purchase. Another example is, please keep your receipt for all purchases. Our grammar focus today was, of course, articles. A, an, the, and the zero article. Let's quickly review the secret code we cracked today. Use a or an to introduce a singular thing for the first time. use the to refer to a specific thing that has already been mentioned, or something that is unique. Use no article, zero article, to talk about general concepts or plural nouns in general. Mastering this code is a huge step toward English fluency. Part 6. Practice tips for the 4 skills. Now, how can you practice this invisible rule? For listening, listen to the beginning of any simple story or news report in English. Pay close attention to how the speaker introduces new people or objects with a or an, and then refers to them later using the. For speaking, describe what is in your room to your AI tutor. Practice introducing things for the first time and then describing them. For example, in my room, there is a bed. The bed is next to a window. The window is very big. For reading, find a simple children's story online. Children's stories are excellent for this. Read one page and circle all the articles, a, an, and the. For each one, ask yourself, why did the author choose this article? And for writing, this is a fun exercise for your journal. Write a short paragraph about a meal you ate recently. Introduce each food item with a or an, and then describe it using the. For example, for lunch, I ate a sandwich and an apple. The sandwich had cheese and tomato. The apple was very sweet. Part 7. Your next action today. The invisible rules of English articles have become visible to you. You are no longer guessing. You have the secret code. You have the rules. And with practice, you will start to use them automatically and naturally. This is a huge step toward sounding more like a native speaker. As we conclude, let's summarize our shopping trip. First, we followed Maya's story and learned the core difference between the indefinite articles a and an and the definite article the. Second, we explored the special cases for using the and the very important situations where we use no article at all. We also learned 10 essential vocabulary words for this lesson. As a review, those words were article, specific, general, to introduce, to refer, unique, shopping mall, department store, cashier, and purchase. Now, I have a final question for you. What did you have for breakfast today? I want you to describe one thing you ate using a or an. For example, this morning I had an egg. Let's practice together in the comments below. If you are committed to making this lesson a part of your life, show your energy by smashing that like button. Be a hero for a friend by sharing this video with someone you know who is always confused by these tiny words. And to lock in your commitment to learning, subscribe and smash that notification bell so you don't miss our next grammar mystery. Remember, mastering the small things makes the biggest difference. Until next time, take care and happy learning.